I know your name. Don't hide from me, 'cause I see all your pain. It's written in your eyes. You and I, we are one and the same. Better or for worse, our dreams are our cuts. We are united in our pain. So tell me why we live like angels with no halos, walking blind in a wasteland, a graveyard out of sight and out of mind. It must be crazy to live so aimlessly, and yet so confined. Eye to eye, we survive. We are fighters and we break the lies alive. We break the lies alive. Even when you're on your own, you don't walk alone. I'm by your side. Somehow we Tell me why we're gifted with such insight, but we're so blind to the demons that we all fight. Is this really by design? And if so, then what happened to our human side? If we can't let go of the hate in our souls, then I fear we've wasted our lives. Eye to eye, we survive. We are fighters and we break the lies alive. We break the lies alive. Even when you're on your own, you don't walk alone. I'm by your side. Somehow we so
All right, y'all. You're all gonna have to stand by and deal with me during my total lack of planning for absolutely everything that could possibly happen this evening. My total lack of planning. All right, so I'm gonna start by trying to get Kevin on here. Seeing it'll work. Hey,
Hey,
hey. All right, yes, it works. Yay. So what I totally forgot is I forgot if I ever dialed in your mic. Clearly I did because it works.
yeah, I guess so. I was trying to get headset to work. Is that working?
It is working.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You're done.
It's fancy. Yes.
T-Spanchy, yeah.
So, all right. What's your beverage of choice for the evening? Because I went directly to Mike's as soon as I sent off my last emails for work for the day.
Yeah. At the moment it's Pepsi, but haven't hit the hard stuff yet.
If Bob was here, you'd hit the hard stuff.
I suppose.
So
I'd go to Coke then.
do a rum and Coke mix.
Yeah.
That sounds legit. I could go with that. But I don't know. I had like 4 different people interested, and then like one by one, they all kind of randomly had other stuff to do tonight.
You mean to talk or to participate or to?
Yes.
Oh.
Kevin, you were the last one.
Well, I'm here.
That's because this is the F list. This is the F list. So when you look at the list of people that you want to talk and have entertain you, we're literally the last on the list.
That's okay.
Also,
Dude,
my Amazon package is shipped. I'm so glad that Amazon decided to cut in and let me know that right now.
Yeah. So, is there anybody else on this or just us?
It's just us.
Oh, I guess. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, Bonnie's in the Twitch stream, right, or the Twitch chat right now. But periodically these will come in ebbs and flows. What I've started to notice with these streams, especially around this time of year, is they get a little bit light because a lot of the population of Twitch randomly has these things that you and I have long since not experienced, Kevin. They're called midterms.
Oh, yeah. I don't miss that.
I don't miss that either. Actually, I'm thinking to myself right now, and I'm thinking about what a wonderful thing it is that I don't have to deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
But I figured we would probably talk about some super weird weapons that we've either come across, read about. I'm sure you've seen and read about a handful of these crazy items yourself.
Yeah.
Bob has shown me a few. And since Bob isn't here, I feel obligated to be the one to relay them.
Yeah.
So the thing that I think we will have to define first is I think we're going to stick with like weird doomsday-ish weapons. Like, oh, well, this changes everything. And I suppose you could say like the submarine does that.
Or like the Russian doomsday ship that they had that had a dead man switch in it. Ever hear about that? It was up in Siberia, and that nobody really knew what was on it, but it was claimed that it had a some kind of warhead on it that would set the atmosphere on fire.
Yes, that sounds about right. Yeah. There's actually a lot of things like that. So, do you remember? This would have been in 2018. I think I brought it up in 2018. Do you remember hearing me mention about the UVB 88, the radio station?
Yeah.
that if the number station goes off the air, all hope is lost for the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've Deadman switches are kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But the numbers,
Oh,
yeah, the numbers maze.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it was 76 now that I think about it, but there's apparently a bunch of them. And what was worse is at the time I was going through a major Archer kick. And so I'm just like, oh, I wonder if it's like the spy channel for the KGB that's still operating today.
Yeah. Well, it's there's like those couple of towns in Eastern Europe that still emit mysterious radio waves that have like the number codes or the the weird oddball beat patterns or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Are supposed to be the KGB that are still sending out messages to forward deployed spies all across Europe.
It really reminds me of the Family Guy episode where they ripped off Spies Like Me, and Dan Aykroyd and what was the other one?
Chevy Chase.
Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase are the spies that move in across the street, and they're trying to shut down a nuclear missile in Russia, and Meg is the KGB operative.
Oh, yeah. That's right, yeah.
Yeah, good times. But I think that stuff is interesting. I think it's... I don't know, there's something weirdly... I don't know, it's weirdly appealing to read about and watch stuff like that. I don't know what it is.
Well, it's popular culture popping off of either folklore or rumors or even fact that was released.
I think it's because the further north you go, the creepier the world gets.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like reality is even worse than fiction. Like, this weapon actually exists? Holy moly.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to pull this up here. I actually have visual aids. I have visual aids this time. Chat isn't used to me having visual aids. Kevin, you knew I was going to have to talk about this.
I can't see it yet.
I know you can't. But it's Project Pluto, or the Flying Crowbar. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Flying Crowbar, I always call it the Flying Crowbar. I think it sounds more entertaining. Grand idea, nuclear-powered ramjet. With nuclear MIRV missiles. Yeah. So, just fly that bad boy right on over the Russians and push the reactor to critical that is powering the jet engines, and let it, disperse the atomic payload and let it keep flying around forever.
Good day.
Yeah, it's a great day. That works out. Just have them in the air all over the place.
Yeah.
China giving you a hard time? Well, you don't even have to use the atomic payload. Just throw the reactor into critical mass and let it fly over all of China.
Yeah. It's or like the rods from God. Those they were the 32-foot long titanium rods that shot from outer space at 8,000 miles an hour or something like that, and they were supposed to have a detonation when they hit the soil even bigger than a nuclear explosion, but have no fallout from them.
Did they actually have an operation name for that?
I don't remember, but it was kind of the same thing. It's like you'll never see it, you can never defeat it.
Let me see if we can kinetic bombardment or kinetic orbital strike. What are we playing? Fucking
yeah. It says, Project Thor.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course they called it Thor.
It's the Air Force, Mark. What do you expect?
Hey, you know what? That's true. That's true. Hey, man, at least we're not the Space Force.
That's
and
true.
their wonderful Um, their terrible rip-off uniforms that they just announced.
Patton's uniforms.
Those weren't Patton's uniforms. Those are literally just ripped out of Star Trek.
Oh well, everybody was comparing it that Patton designed a tanker uniform like it almost exactly like that in 1928, 1930 time period. Except it was green. I think it was green velvet or something, some god awful looking color uniform.
Olive drab, man. You gotta have the olive drab.
Olive drab velvet.
But yeah, actually, I think Professor Peril recommended that I bring up Project Thor, but it was, I don't know. To me, okay, so Jerry Pournelle is referenced on screen to this, and for a minute, I quickly glanced over it right next to the Strategic Defense Initiative, and I legitimately thought for a second that it said Jerry Seinfeld created the concept.
Nice.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knew that Jerry Seinfeld was drunk with power, but okay. I'm gonna have to look into that more. Yeah, so tungsten rods with directional.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh my god. This is so the bomb would naturally contain a large kinetic energy because it moves at orbital velocities of around 26,000 feet per second, or Mach 24.
Yeah.
And Mach 8.8 at impact. Okay.
Fast.
That's a great idea. I love that it says also the flechette.
Yeah, or the lazy dog.
Yeah. Brilliant pebbles. Ballistic missile defense system proposed by Lowell Wood. Wait a minute. What? What is this? A system would consist of thousands of small missiles, not unlike conventional heat-seeking missiles, which would be placed in orbit so that hundreds would be above the Soviet Union at all times.
Well, you can't defeat that.
If the Soviets launched its ICBM fleet, the Pebbles would detect the rocket motors using infrared seekers and collide with them.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that's to be fair, that's a noble cause, but it wouldn't stop there.
No.
It never stops there. Look at this smug guy. He's Air Force.
Are you sharing your screen?
I am.
Oh.
It's on the stream, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, actually, that's a relatively logical means of doing it, but again, it would never just stay there. It would never stay as cruise missile or ballistic missile defense. It'd never stay there.
No.
Was it that I was talking about Nike Ajax, though? What was Ajax's role in this? Just saw it. All right. Oh, here we go. Anti-ballistic missile systems that were currently in place, like Nike Zeus, had the problem that they cost more than the ICBMs they were designed to shoot down. Oh, darn. Have to purchase...
Nike could shoot those down?
Nike, yeah. The United States would have to purchase $20 worth of interceptors for every $1 the Soviets spent on new ICBMs.
Nice.
All right. That's... I don't know, though. That seems odd. Oh, hey, Susu. Let's see here. Yeah, geostationary orbit. That would be a literal pain in the ass. Especially in What year are we looking here? That was the 70. Did I say 70s or 80s?
It was 80s.
87. 87. Okay, they could have done it. That's weird. Suzu, ping me if you do want to join. That's fine. That's one of the people, Kevin.
Yeah.
Let's see. After a considerable study in 1990, Pebbles replaced rocks as the baseline SDI design. In 1991, it was ordered into production. What? By this time, the Soviet Union was collapsing and the perceived threat changed to shorter-range theater ballistic missiles. Pebbles was modified, but doing so raised its weight and cost. The original design called for around 10,000 missiles and would cost 10 to 20 billion, but by 1990, the cost for 4,600 had ballooned to $55 billion.
A lot of money.
Or we could just have an Iron Dome.
Yeah.
That is... we shouldn't comment on that. We shouldn't comment on Iron Dome. So, yeah, that's an interesting one. And this is all because you had to bring up... wait a minute. So, apparently there are rods from God in G.I. Joe Retaliation.
I didn't know that.
Halo! It's in Halo!
Yeah. It is in Halo. Yes, it is.
Call of Duty Ghosts. Of course it's in Call of Duty. That's the most Call of Duty sounding shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Or Titanfall. Reminds me of Titanfall too. Okay. Alright. Kevin, you got me on that one.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm surprised neither one of us actually started with this though.
Rods from God.
Nope.
Oh, what's that?
The M28, M29 Davy Crockett.
Oh, yeah. That's one of them.
Why was there a crew of 5? So you had somebody that placed it. You probably had a cider. And somebody to... Like, it wasn't that big.
Yeah. Well, I actually just recently talked to somebody who was on a Davy Crockett. I don't know if it's squad or what you would call it, crew.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that they had a whole platoon of guys that were assigned to one, and he's like, well, we only ever saw one of the actual warheads once. We only ever trained with practice ones, and then when they brought a real one out, he's like, there were like 30 MPs there watching us look at it. Didn't even get to touch the real one.
Were they okay? Did he tell you, were they actually red?
They didn't say that, but he said that they were in Hawaii with the 25th ID. So I thought that was pretty. I didn't know they were in Hawaii. I always thought that they were like in South Korea and Germany and stuff like that.
Yeah, they were in Fulda for sure.
Yeah.
Because we actually have plenty of documents of like dudes like just walking deployed throughout Fulda. But I don't know. That ranks up there with the weirdness of like Annie getting deployed to Okinawa of all places. Like, why Okinawa? The range.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it doesn't have an over-the-horizon range, so that's never made any sense, and it's not mobile. So I don't know. Apparently, I'm thinking too hard.
Blow up the island if you try to invade it.
Yeah, just you know what? If America can't have it, no one will.
Yeah.
But that's always struck me as something so odd.
Well, the Russians are doing that too, where it's like, if we got into a limited nuclear war, it's like different time periods, but part of their policy is like, well, we'll just finish it. We'll just blow up the whole world because, if Russia can't exist or the Soviet Union can't exist, nobody can exist.
That's right. Everybody has to die. Might be something to do with the military government from 45 to 71. I don't think so. Not with those.
Yeah.
That seems because we know they were pointed out to sea. So like, well, it depends how many there were. I suppose we probably should have said that. I think there were only, didn't we say there's only like 20 Annies that ever got built?
Yeah, I think it was 20.
There weren't very many. Let's see here. Pull that number up. Elevation 55. It might be on my site how many we had, but yeah, there weren't very many. I'm just wondering if the original intent would have been to, like, have them there, and then if the Russians were coming, or the Chinese were coming, or, you know, if the Reds were coming, well, we'll just do the same thing, and maybe their ships will get hung up on the radiation, too. I don't know.
I
Because,
have no
like,
idea on that one.
when you and I are looking through things and we're looking at, like, radiation control, we're normally looking at things like APCs and tanks.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe one of y'all Navy people out there can let us know the feasibility of a ship withstanding radioactive fallout from a 16 kiloton nuclear blast.
Loaded on an aircraft carrier and fight for the pirate from the aircraft carrier.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there were plenty of tests that were done that had that. Surely they've got to have the information. It's just whether or not it's... Yeah.
There's the Hornet that's laying off the California coast out by San Francisco. That was aircraft carrier. It was damaged heavily in I think the Bikini Atoll.
Yeah.
Nuclear blast, and then I don't know why they just didn't sink it out there, but then they brought it back to off the coast of California and sank it. And they just found it recently.
So that explains California.
Yeah, pretty much. All those irradiated fish.
Been eating too many three-eyed fish from the Simpsons pond up there in California. But no, my favorite thing with both Annie and the Davy Crockett has always been, imagine being the dude. Imagine yourself being on that unit and getting the order, hey, they're coming. Load live, load heavy. Okay, so you know you're not getting out of that alive.
Yeah.
Or if you get out of it alive, you're not going to be alive for very long.
Yeah. Well, it's a joke with the Davy Crockett crews that they had that they would hang a sign back of their Jeep as they're driving away. Or, it says, "You see me driving away fast, make sure to follow."
Right.
Like, we just fired our round and we're getting out of here.
Yep. Or it says, like I was describing, you have your buddy in the Jeep. Maybe that's why they needed 5. They needed one guy in the Jeep, like way down range already, building speed coming towards you.
Yeah.
And then you need a guy timing so that you can actually time when the round fires, so that you can jump in the back of the truck as it's speeding by and bail out of there. And still die from radiation poisoning, but at least you have an extra day or two.
Yeah.
I don't know. Good ideas. Good ideas. I know I'm going to regret what I'm about to search in Wikipedia, but let's... Doomsday devices. Okay, Wikipedia. Let's get into this. Oh, we can talk about neutron bombs, salted hydrogen bombs. I forgot that.
Salted.
Yes. You don't want. I prefer salted to freshwater hydrogen bombs, and I also like free-ranged hydrogen bombs. Free range. You don't want them cooped up.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the dead hand system built by the Soviet Union. There you go. It's fail-ready design and nuclear capabilities. No, really? A list of fictional doomsday devices. One of the other interesting things here, too, though, I think, is all the things that came out of World War II, supposedly came out of World War II, but, and I'm going to channel my inner Bob here. I have to go get this. I want to read something to you guys. This is from the Patent Papers, 1885 to 1940 by Martin Blumenson. And what page is this? Oh, how convenient. This is page 420 and 421. Nice. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. It does seem an injustice to keep Army women, who are the only ones who have any right to be here home, and let everyone else in the world come, etc., etc. I guess that the old Army, even as I knew it, is dead. Well, this is, let's see, Patton wrote his father that headquarters company was getting bigger all the time. He was supposed to have 458 men, but he actually had about 150, with 4 officers, including himself. He had a lot to do, or rather, a lot of things that took a long time doing. For when you go see some colonel or general, you usually have to wait half an hour to get in a word. And so I guess the contents of this letter, he's talking about, integration. But then he goes on here, lots of men are shot by their officers in each attack. If they hang back a second, they get it. No questions are asked. The Germans have some of the smartest ideas. There is talk of a ray of light which will kill at 30 yards, and the Germans are not the one who have it either. Don't mention the above. I That seems oddly strange. That's an odd paragraph.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, the Germans have some of the smart ideas, but the Germans are not the ones who have the weapon, is how I interpret that. That is a strange sentence. But okay, so we have a death ray in World War One now.
Death ray?
A death ray. A German death ray. I want a death ray.
Really, really handy.
It would be handy. Hey, I've got those chipmunks in my yard. Just use the death ray.
Yeah.
But I'll take care of them. I've often told people, that how the Army fires somebody is they literally fire you, as in they shove you down into a M198 and they shoot you out of it off the installation.
Yeah.
That has absolutely nothing to do with anything, but it seemed like something interesting to bring up. You know what? Since we're talking about that, let's talk about. Actually, was that a thing?
What's that?
Wait a minute. A death ray bomb? What is a death ray bomb? Oh, it's a neutron bomb. Okay. Basically, just a really dirty nuclear bomb is what that is.
Oh.
I've never heard it called a death ray bomb, though.
I have not either.
Watch them do, like, a background check on me now. Why were you searching for all these things on Wikipedia? No reason.
I was just talking about it.
Yeah, we were just casual conversation. Casual conversation. Okay, so here we have the death ray or death beam, a theoretical particle beam or electromagnetic weapon, first theorized in the 1920s and 1930s. So this is the Tesla death rays, the Marconi death rays. Let's see here. Wait, what? In 1957, the National Inventors Council was still issuing lists of needed military inventions that included a death ray.
Everybody
Okay.
needs one.
Everybody needs a death ray. I mean, I suppose in theory, yeah, this is kind of true. While based in fiction, research in energy-based weapons inspired by past speculation has contributed to real-life weapons in use by modern militaries, such as the U.S. Navy's laser weapon system. Too soon?
Yeah.
Didn't that just get killed?
I think so.
It says it's
Ironic.
yeah.
Get killed. Ha.
Manufactured by Kratos Defense and Security Solutions too. Excellent, guys. Excellent. Man, they knew what they were doing when they picked out some of the names for some of this shit. They really did.
Yeah.
They knew what they were getting into. What's another one? The Bell. The Bell magazine novel. No. Nope. Yep, there it is. Top secret Nazi scientific technological device, secret weapon, or Wunderwaffe.
Wunderweapon.
Have you heard about this? The Die Glock?
No.
So,
What is it?
it is first described by a Polish journalist. It was later popularized by a military journalist. Basically, it was you set this thing.
I have heard of this. Yeah.
Yeah, you put it in a forest or something like that, and then you turn it on, and it like kills everything.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest
oh.
concept.
You got that in DayZ.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's an orb. This is like, if you're looking at the Wikipedia picture, it's got it looks like a UFO bell kind of thing.
Yeah.
And but I watched the show on it. It's like when the History Channel actually like tried to do a little bit of history, but it was like, hey, we're going to talk about history aliens kind of thing.
Right.
And we're talking about this, and they went to supposedly one of the sites. I think it was in Poland or somewhere on the Eastern Front before the Soviets overran it, and they had this huge concrete facility that, what are they using this thing for? I mean, it could be used for 100 different reasons, but supposedly it was suspended from this thing, and there was all kinds of damage, internal damage from this facility, and they're like, oh well, the weapon exploded, and they never recovered from it.
Or maybe it was just bombed to hell by crossbow.
Or maybe it was just they accidentally exploded whatever they were working on inside the facility, like a conventional bomb.
Or you know what, Kevin? Or you know what it could be? I'm just gonna tell you. Aliens.
Well, it's Answer Channel, so why not?
There you go. Aliens.
Has to be
It was clearly aliens. Didn't you say that you met him?
No, I met one of the producers that worked with him, and he's like, yeah, the guy's a nut. But he gave good TV, so
That's all that really matters, I suppose.
yeah. Well, because I was getting interviewed he was a producer that was doing an interview I was in, and I'm like, oh well, since you said that, I have to like spike my hair up and act all crazy, like, please don't.
Is this the same dude that claimed that he saw Hitler in the mirror in the museum's bathroom?
No, that was before me.
Okay.
But it was some Edelman production company that was working with our museum at the time, and it was the producer that saw it, and it was one of those things like former person that we know with a house and ghosted in the house that said that they never wanted to go back. Like the producer's like, I never want to go back to that museum, so he always sent his assistant producer to get the stuff that he was renting from us. So.
I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't laugh about stuff like this, but some of this is just too much.
Well, and I don't know. I mean, it would take a lot for me to say, no, I'm not going back to a place, I mean, but, I don't know. I didn't see it, but the guy was still paying us good money, so that's all I cared. So.
Kevin, did you know that apparently the Germans did have an aircraft carrier in World War II?
I did not know that.
I did not know this either. German aircraft carrier Graf Zeppelin. Lead ship in a class of 2 carriers with the same name ordered by the Kriegsmarine. capable of projecting German naval power beyond the Baltic and North Seas, would have had a complement of 42 fighters and dive bombers. Okay, that tells me something happened. It was laid down in 36 and launched in 38. So where was it?
Sank 2 days later.
Okay,
I'm
so
kidding.
it was launched on 8 December 38.
Or had she been? Well, this one says that it had it been completed in 1942, so it never made it to completion.
Yeah, that's what I'm... Meanwhile, the German conquest of Norway in April of 1940 eroded any chance of completing it. Yeah, so there it is. So I guess it made it, like, to sea, but there was nothing really in it, I'm guessing. Like, there was no way to finish it off. I don't know. You would think that they might prioritize that just a little bit. The exact position of the wreck was unknown for decades. On 12 July 2006, was found a 265-meter long wreck. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that word, which they thought was most likely the Graf Zeppelin. And it rests at a depth of 260 feet below the surface. 99% sure it's the Graf Zeppelin. Okay, well, easy. Oh, the Soviets caught it. That's why we didn't know about it for so long.
Yeah.
That explains everything. Whenever the Soviets have it, that's how you know that.
Yeah, you know, we took it over. So
Yeah, right.
like gave it to the Soviets. Here, don't kill us.
Have this thing. So there was a B, C, and D. And in 1942, another aircraft carrier. A conversion of the transport ship Europa. That was planned in 1942. Battleship. Well, we already know about all the battleships. We've talked about it on this channel at length. So Tirpitz and Bismarck, of course. The rocket U-boat. Excuse me? A ballistic missile submarine.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Kevin.
The V2. They were trying to launch V2 on it.
Yeah, they were. Oh, geez, look at this dumb-looking design. So you have to get it like in upright. So get it upright, and then just pray that the exhaust does not melt through that probably steel barrier that's behind you. That's the only thing that's between you and certain magma death. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This is interesting.
Here's one that V1 I'm sorry, a U-boat that launched a V1 underwater.
That's interesting.
I can't see that would be all that accurate. It wasn't
Yeah.
accurate to begin with. Hey, we'll hit the United States. That's all we want. We're not gonna hit like a city. Just the
We're
United
gonna hit. Yeah, we just want to make sure that we can hit Joe Bob's farm.
Yeah.
You know that cow. That cow is a threat to Germany. It's a threat to the fatherland. I'd love to be in on that discussion. There is an alternate history documentary on Spike TV speculating how the Nazis could defeat America. Their scenario basically had the U.S. surrender after the Nazis used those to nuke New York. Oh, so the hypothetical is that they didn't lose all of their hard water or whatever, and what's his name probably would had to have not have defected, and they would have had to have gone unimpeded, I imagine, especially probably across the Eastern Front, and we probably would have had to have been staved off from bombing the ever-living shit out of them, because I'm pretty sure that had something to do with it.
Well, you know, when you can't build stuff when you're getting bombed out of existence.
Yeah, which we were definitely doing. Oh, I get you, Bonnie. It's all good. Yes. Everybody knows that Nebelwerfers werfed Nebels, right?
Yeah.
That was their only function, was to werf Nebels. Armored vehicles. We pretty much we know those. Gliders, the Mammoth. Yeah, I know about the Mammoth. Piston engine aircraft, jets, and rocket propelled aircraft. Oh, there is one though that I want to bring up. Kevin, excuse me. Hang on.
Excuse.
What? Excuse me? Arado E-555 was a long-range strategic bomber proposed for Germany in World War II for the America Bomber Project. And it has it has 6 rockets strapped on the back of it. It looks kind of like a Caspian Sea monster crossed with a really bad Stargate SG-1 craft. And a German cross painted on it.
Everything had to have that.
Well, yeah, everything.
It wasn't cool.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's a very modern looking. The 560 is very modern looking. Where is it? Where's my bullet? It's the favorite thing that I have to say about. There it is. I found it. There's a couple of them though. I have to make sure that was the actual right one. There were some really stupid ideas. I think the one that I was thinking of though was like a Goster or something. Okay, I think this is just it. So, all right, guys, you remember me talking about the cam ships? Well, here's the next best thing. So, you want to take out an aircraft coming in at you? Well, have no fear. The Americans took this too. I actually have some pictures of mock-ups of this. You're gonna die for your country, but you're gonna do it in style. We're gonna shoot you up in the air in this thing, and all that you're supposed to do is collide with the bomber. Take it down. And you should talk about the Oka. Oh, well, yeah, we can. Oh, the Oka was just like the other one. It's a piloted V1. But yeah, I love those ideas. Collision aircraft is what they call them. We'll bring up the Oka real quick. No, I don't remember what the correct. Bonnie, get me the correct, the actual nomenclature for it. I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember what the nomenclature was for it. German nuclear weapons program. An guided anti-ship glide bomb for World War II. That's interesting. That's very modern looking, actually. There's the V3 cannon. Heavy Gustav. Cool. Heavy Gustav! Oh, if Suzu were still here, she would be ecstatic. So yes, Schwer Gustav, the 800 millimeter railway gun that was in service. Thank you. Yes, that is it.
That's the one that required the crane going on it?
Yes.
The heavy railway gun that had to have the crane that supported the barrel?
Yep. So since we've played a couple of these games recently, we will see a similar concept when Ace Combat 6 comes around, because the glacier, the chandelier that's mounted on a glacier, uses a very similar concept to that. It's the ugliest looking thing I think I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, weighing 7 short tons to a range of 29 miles. Oh, it was just, yeah, that's not bad at all. All right, so let's get the, yep, there's the Oka bomb, or the Oka aircraft. Rocket-powered, human-guided kamikaze attack aircraft. How do you pitch that? So, Kevin, I am legitimately asking that question. How would you pitch that? Some 18-year-old sure. Or airman or whatever. Hey, I know you wanted to be, you wanted to be a radio operator, or you wanted to work, you wanted to be a mechanic, or
You want to go out, or you want to do, want to make a difference for your country? Go out with a bang, man.
Well, have I got an opportunity for you, son? You're in luck. You wanted
Specialist.
to be a mechanic? Well, I got one better. You're going to be a pilot.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is awesome.
Have all the abilities.
A suicide pilot. Either that, or just make it like in Family Guy, where you're just like, oh yeah. The landing gear will definitely get you back on the ground.
Yeah. As it falls off when you take off.
I'm just imagining the first guy that took off in the U-2 spy plane. Hey, ground? Ground. Those wheels just fell off. Is that supposed to happen? Oh, it's totally fine. The idea is that when you come back in for a landing, we're going to have two guys get up underneath you with cars. Oh. Were they going to do something about that? Nope. Okay. Just checking, ground.
Yeah.
Be on my way to get shot down by the Soviets now.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Gary Powers. What else we got here? These are missiles. Whole family of missiles. That is... Alright. Alright. Why do so many missiles have to have a dude in them?
It is way cooler if he's scary.
Oh, that's interesting. A wire-guided air-to-air missile. All right.
Seems challenging.
The sun gun? Whoa. Wait a minute. I think we found something to talk about here. The sun gun, or helio beam, is a theoretical orbital weapon which makes use of a concave mirror mounted on a satellite to concentrate sunlight into a small area at the Earth.
I have heard that, yeah.
So just basically ants on a grand scale. Okay. In 1929, a German physicist developed plans for a space station in which a 100-meter wide concave mirror could be used to reflect sunlight onto a concentrated point on Earth. Oh, and it was interesting. Kevin, we have these documents. The Hellersleben documents.
Oh, yeah? I didn't know that.
We have those. We have both the American report and the U.S. report. Or the American report and the British report, excuse me. Would be part of a space station 5,100 miles above the Earth. Interesting. I don't know. I've seen that one Futurama episode. Where the little space pebble hits it and it all of a sudden just spins out of control and starts burning everybody alive.
No.
I don't want to be melted. Rifles. Automatically firing airborne anti-bomber recoilless rifle for use on the ME-163. Mauser MG-213. There's your F-42, Kevin.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Mission equipment. The Vampire. Isn't that kind of like the Starlight?
No.
Strumware 44 assault rifle. Intended primarily for night use. That really looks like the Starlight. That is right. That is what we called it, right? It's the Starlight scope. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Similar infrared gear was fitted to both the MG34 and the 42. That's interesting. And it even has the big, stupid, probably weighs more than your entire body battery pack on the back.
Yes, that lasts for 2 seconds.
Yeah. It's good for one shot. Better make it count. Ah, yes, the directed
But everybody
energy.
in Battlefield wears it, though.
Hey, you know what? If that's true, you might as well go with it. Oh, there's the Oka, Bonnie. It actually is on this list. The plan... Wait a minute. Speaking of very good ideas in the Nazis, Atlanta Tropa, the plan to drain the entire Mediterranean Sea. Excuse me?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that before.
Wait, this is real? You guys aren't...
Yeah, no. You can't have subs if we drain the Mediterranean.
No. Hang on.
There were a bunch of reasons for why they were talking about doing that. That one, it was going to deprive the British of shipping lane. Two, that there was a whole bunch of
Did I spell it wrong?
there were a whole bunch of minerals that they thought they could harvest in the Mediterranean, and then it was much easier to drive, in theory, from Italy to North Africa than take a boat that could be sunk.
And Europa was a gigantic engineering and colonization idea that was devised by the Germans in the 1920s. Promoted until 1952?
Yeah.
Several hydroelectric dams and key points in the Mediterranean Sea. Why? Alright, so this is supposedly what it would look like. Okay, so it's strategic draining, but it's still draining. I wonder if they won and they're just using it on the Dead Sea.
Yeah.
Or the
practice here.
It's not the Dead Sea, it's the Aral Sea. Or Aral Sea. Interesting. Never heard of that. Nazi UFOs, anybody? Let's see. Oh, shoot. I actually have a story of a supposed Nazi UFO. An actual pilot's account.
Saw one?
A pilot that claimed that he
Oh.
saw one. An actual document of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's interesting. All I'm gonna say. Morning of the Magicians? Excuse me? Made many spectacular claims. Oh. This is weird. Whatever this stuff is here, this is weird. Ion-propelled aircraft. That seems interesting too, but we're not going to go down that because that's entirely theoretical. You know what is real though, guys? Directed energy weapons. Some of our good friends in our embassies are unfortunately well aware of that.
Yeah. Mark, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to pop smoke.
Hey, that's no problem. But hey guys, soon enough, Kevin is going to be streaming. Soon enough.
Ryan.
We're trying to get him
there
there.
soon.
We'll get there soon. All right, yeah, I'll shoot you a message later, buddy.
Well, if I knew how to press the button properly, it might work better.
You'll be fine.
Okay.
We'll catch you later.
Thanks, bye.
Yep. Don't worry, chat. We're not done. Where do you think you're going? I don't remember telling you guys that you could leave. Let's see here. You got a meme to share too? All right, fantastic. So yeah, directed energy weapons. So they're talking about a lot of things like low frequency weapons. This kind of, and that's kind of what I subscribe to as well. I've always been one of those people that has said that, hey, you know, sound impacts everybody in different ways. That's why you really need to pay attention to what things you are listening to and how you're listening to them. Stop listening to crappy Bluetooth speakers, man. Stop. Just stop. Granted, your crappy Bluetooth speakers are probably not going to be putting out this kind of issue. I think I've seen that, Bonnie. I think I have. I'll take a look at it in a little bit. Let's see what else they're talking about here. Some microwaves. Yeah, that's been talked about at length. Wait a minute, what? Vigilant Eagle is a proposed airport defense system that directs high-frequency microwaves toward any projectile that is fired at an aircraft. The system consists of a missile detecting and tracking subsystem, a command and control system, and a scanning array. The MDT is a fixed grid of passive infrared cameras. The command and control system determines the missile launch point. The scanning array projects microwaves that disrupt the surface-to-air missile's guidance system, deflecting it from the aircraft. But if it's a surface-to-air missile... Man, that's a... I don't know how useful that really is, though. Bofor's Blackout is a high-powered microwave weapon that is said to be able to destroy at short distance a wide variety of commercial off-the-shelf electronic equipment, and is purportedly non-lethal. I'm betting you anything that's probably because people will not keep their damn drones out of airports. Lasers. Particle beams. Chat, what you are looking at here, like, almost all of this stuff is like stuff that has been legitimately thought of or is actively being built. Yeah, here's what Kevin and I were talking about just before he left. So Havana syndrome, set of medical signs and symptoms reported by U.S. and Canadian embassy staff in Havana, Cuba. Now, if you guys haven't heard of this, basically they are convinced that they're still, even in some places, hearing strange noises that is usually accompanied with headache, hearing loss, memory loss, nausea, but it's hypothesized to be caused by microwaves or what do they call it? XLFE, or XLFW, which is extremely low frequency waves. So there was also a similar instance of this reported in connection with the Russians. So it is interesting, to say the least. I think we will do one more interesting thing. Well, let's see here. Wait a minute. Bonnie, how much do you know about this? You are much better versed in this history than I am. Japanese nuclear weapon program. Unable to progress beyond the laboratory stage. It looks like it might have started in 34, maybe. Because we knew that nuclear, the foundations of nuclear weapons and technology, I think, goes to 1894, somewhere in there, but I might be misremembering that. I mean, Chiang Kai-shek getting, yeah, that's not Design A150. Okay. Let me take a look here. Design A150. Let's see if there's mention of this. No, there's not any mention there, but let's take a look. Oh, that's a battleship? Okay. Let's take a look. Super Yamato class, huh? Are designed to be superior in quality in battleships they might have faced. 6 20-inch guns. Okay. Wow. They were correct in doing this and focusing on those aircraft carriers. Unfortunately, they just couldn't get the. Yeah, I know it is. They couldn't get it taken care of in time, unfortunately. But yeah, with the nuclear weapons, though, the NEGO project, Army was not discouraged, and soon after the committee issued the report, it set up an experimental project at Riken. The aim was to separate uranium-235 by thermal diffusion, ignoring alternative methods such as electromagnetic separation, gaseous diffusion, and centrifugal separation. But they barely made any progress by 44. And by 45, a small group of scientists had succeeded in producing a small amount of material in a rudimentary separator in the Riken complex. But it was not uranium-235. And the project comes to an end in March of 45 when Meeting House basically comes through and bombs the hell out of it. Oh, you mean Meeting House and Crossbow had unintended consequences that actually benefited the world? Okay, gotcha. Just checking. Just checking. Interesting. Interesting. Well. Yeah, the one Yamato. Yeah, I know it did. Bye-bye. Interesting. All that is to say that there are a ton of these. There are a ton of weapons out there. Interestingly enough, though, I will drop a couple of links just so that they pop up on screen here. 1 second. Change this. And because there's a couple of links that you guys might find interesting. One of them pertains to Atomic Annie. The other one pertains to the Flying Crowbar. Let's see if I can get these for you folks. That's right. Atomic Annie was the first one of these I actually had drawn up. But one of the things, too, that it's kind of important to remember is that in the 1960s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and even the 1980s, it was reasonable. It was considered reasonable to just nuke our enemies into submission. So that link right there is for the Atomic Annie fact sheet. Again, you can actually go places and see that. There was also a larger atomic cannon that was proposed. That was 350 millimeter and 420 millimeter. Then there's also the various series of atomic weapons deployment methods that we had during the Cold War. And then lastly here, I'm sorry, it's my favorite thing, so I have to include it. the flying crowbar. So, but what I am going to do now, chat, is we are going to go ahead and wrap. It's been a kind of a cozy stream, which is just fine with me. We're going to take about an hour break. When we come back, we are going to jump back to Tales of Arise, and get into things going on there. I'd love to talk more about bad idea weapons, doomsday weapons, and maybe, we might do it on a future show. We can repeat these and talk about them more. But if you have another weapon that you wanted me to talk about, or you have something you want me to do more research on, feel free to drop it in the Discord or any comments anywhere, since these will eventually go up on YouTube, and I will try to get around to it. With that, guys, like I said, we're going to take about a 50-minute break. When we come back, we'll get right back to Tales of Arise. The next history stream is It's sometime. It's in 2 weeks. We'll be dealing with handling conspiracies. So historians handling conspiracies. There's a lot of them. We actually touched on a few of them tonight, and we've touched on them in previous presentations, particularly the ATF program. We talked about some conspiracies going on there. As we get into spooky October, we'll be talking about some of the more weird things that come with the history profession. With that, folks, I'm going to go ahead and refresh myself just a little bit here. And I will catch you guys on either the next stream tonight or the next history stream in 2 weeks. I'll have yourselves a fantastic evening. I'll see you again.